Kanha, 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 Tum Mama Priyatam Kanha, 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 Tum Mama Priyatam Kanha, 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 Tum Mama Priyatam Kanha, 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 oh Kanha, ab lo nahi jana, 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 rahe huए मुख तव कान्हा, Kanha, 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 Kanha. Sri Gurave Namaha. In our previous discussions on Rasopasana, I told you that Ras means the relish of love, and Sri Krishna as Ras is a relisher of that love. Love is his intrinsic energy which he relishes, and that experience is called as Ananda. That is why he is also called as Anando Brahmeti Vijanat. Now, as Amshas, his Amshas, we should also be relishing that love, just like the Parikaras of Sri Krishna who are in Vrindavan, Yashoda Maya, Nand Baba, Gwal Bal, Gopikas, they all enjoy Ras. They also have love for Sri Krishna has love for them, and both of them relish the love for each other in the spiritual realm. But in the material realm, even though we are all the Amshas of Sri Krishna, we are not relishing that love because, as I told you, that we are all identifying ourselves with the body. And when we identify with the body, I told you that because we have these five senses and the Prakriti has, the material world has five sense objects, there is a natural tendency developed in us to relish the five sense objects through the five senses. This is called as Krama. And from Kama, I told you, Krodha develops, Lobha develops. So we have these negative qualities, Kam, Krodh, Lobh, Moha, Mad, Matsarya. You can go back to the previous lecture. I gave a detailed analysis about all this. And these negative qualities contaminate our love. As conscious entities, we have love. But this love is contaminated by these qualities. So that is why we, in order to experience the pure love for Sri Krishna, I told you that we have to reconstitute ourselves as Atma. And this process is called as Buddhi Yoga. This term is used in Bhagavad Gita, 2nd chapter. So after Buddhi Yoga is explained, Sri Krishna is floating few terms in the next 4 chapters. He talks about Karma Yoga, he talks about Jnana Yoga, he talks about Karma Sannyasa Yoga, and he talks about Dhyana Yoga. So these 4 concepts are floated. Of course, they are discussed in a different context in Bhagavad Gita because it is talking about the Kshatriya Dharma of Arjuna. But we can use those concepts for our Upasana also. What are the 4 concepts? Karma, Jnana, and Sannyasa and Dhyana. You see, whenever we take an identity, for example, I am employed as a software developer in a multinational company. So when I have this identity, there is a jnana about this identity. Who am I and what is my relationship to this company, to the CEO, to the others who are working above me and below me, and what am I expected to do? There is jnana. When I have an identity, there is a knowledge about that identity. And then what I should be doing, what is my karma? As a software developer, I should be developing the software for the company. So this is my karma. And then I should not be doing the activity of a manager. I cannot, even though I may have some skills about managerial skills, but I should not be doing that because I am not a manager. So I have sannyasa for that. Whatever my identity is and whatever is my requirement, that is what I should do. And then when I have this identity as a software developer, I should give my best for that, which I can do only if I am rooted in my identity and I am totally focused when I live my role. So when I am totally focused, this is called as dhyana. So when I live my role and when I am totally focused, then I can play my role the best. So you can roughly understand these concepts like this. Whenever you have an identity, you have all these 4 things. You have knowledge about your role, and you do your role, and you don't do other things which are not part of your role, and then you are focused on your role. Right? Focused on your identity, your work, and your knowledge. So, now we are reconstituting ourselves as Atma. And this Atma is an Amsha of Sri Krishna. So what is the knowledge that we should have when we identify ourselves as the Atma? That I am the Atma, Sri Krishna is the Paramatma, and I am his Amsha. So naturally, he is my object of love. And Vrindavan, in which Sri Krishna performs these leelas, is my abode, is my place. And this world is not my place. When I consider myself as the body, this Prakriti becomes my place. And my father, my mother, my brother, sister, friends, everybody become mine in relation to the body. None of them are related to our Atma, right? They are related to our body. In this life we have this father. In some other life we have some other father. In our next life we will have some other father. So all these material relationships change. So they are not related to the Atma. To the Atma, only Paramatma is related. We are an intrinsic part of Sri Krishna, part and parcel of Sri Krishna. So that is why our relationship with Sri Krishna is an eternal, permanent one. Because we are considering ourselves as a body, we are thinking that these are our relationships. So our knowledge shifts. So we have a jnana. When we reconstitute ourselves as Atma, we have a jnana that Sri Krishna is my Amshi, I am the Amsha. So naturally Sri Krishna becomes my object of love. And Then there is a karma. So when Sri Krishna is my object of love, what is the karma that I should do? Right? My karma will be to love Sri Krishna. Sri Krishna is my beloved and I am a lover of Sri Krishna. So what is the activity that I should do? I should do the activity of loving Sri Krishna. That becomes my karma. Right? And sannyasa, we'll come to sannyasa. Because I am not the body, and none of these people who belong to this material world become my relatives or objects of love. They become my objects of love naturally only when I identify. Now that I am identifying myself with the Atma, they are not my objects of love. So that is why there is sannyasa for that. Right? I do my material duties because I am placed in a certain family or I work in a company, but inside I have vairagya, sannyasa for them. Right? Inside I don't consider them as my objects of love. And similarly, the material world is not the object of relish for me. When I consider myself as the body, my buddhi, I told you, will tell that this is the object of love. And my mind starts desiring sense pleasure. And through my body, I relish the sense objects. So I should have sannyasa for all these things. I am not the body, and so the material world is not my object of love. And if I have desires for the relish of the sense objects, I should renounce them. And I will not try to go and get them. Inside, in my mind, I reject them when the desire is produced. And then in my activity also, I don't try to relish those objects. Whenever my mind desires something, I try to accumulate those things and I try to relish. So now, because I identify myself as the Atma and Sri Krishna becomes my object of relish, I renounce this. And then I focus on my object of love, which is Sri Krishna. Because since eternity, I have been identifying myself with the body. It's a natural tendency for the mind to go towards the material nature. So whenever it goes towards the material nature, I try to shift it towards Sri Krishna and then focus on him, and I try to cultivate my love for Sri Krishna. So this is how we understand that when we identify, whenever we have an identity, there are 4 things which are related to that identity: karma, jnana, sannyasa and dhyana. And Sri Krishna is my object of love, that is the jnana. And my activity is to love Sri Krishna. And I renounce all the material pleasures. I stop relishing. Whatever is necessary for the survival for my body, I take only that much. And rest of the things, even if my mind is producing because of the eternal identification with the material nature, I renounce them. Because they do not belong to Atma, I renounce them. And then whenever my mind goes away from Sri Krishna and goes for the relish of the material pleasures, I bring it back to Sri Krishna. I try to focus on it, focus on him, and try to cultivate my love. So this is dhyana. These are the 4 things which he explained, and later he goes into bhakti in Bhagavad Gita. When we discuss Bhagavad Gita, then we can discuss all these things in context and in this detail. So that is why now when we start this Rasopasana through the Kirtans, in this line, the first line that is coming is, so we will do Kirtan and then we will try to do the Artha Bhavana of it. I told you that we can cultivate emotion for Sri Krishna which we do not have, first by reconstituting and then by considering Sri Krishna as our beloved, and then trying to bringing out all the meanings of Sri Krishna's Nam, Roop, Guna, Leela, Dham, Parikar, which then these meanings get converted into emotion in us. This is what is the process of Rasopasana I explained to you. So now we will take the first line from this bhajan and then do Rasopasana. Tum mama priyatam kanha, kanha kanha kanha, tum mama priyatam kanha, kanha kanha kanha, kanha kanha kanha. So when I am doing this kirtan, I am telling Sri Krishna. Kanha means Sri Krishna. And why we don't call him Krishna, why we call him Kanha, I will discuss at a later stage. Right? This is a particular bhava called Madhurya bhava, which is practiced in Braj Bhakti, which is not practiced elsewhere. Right? So that we discuss at a much later stage. But now we see, when we are saying Tuma mama priyatama kanha, kanha kanha kanha, O Kanha, you are my beloved. So this is a Rasik saint who has written this song for us. So he is saying to Sri Krishna that Sri Krishna, you are mine. Now I follow in the footsteps of a Rasik saint. Because he is a Rasik, he has attained the love of Sri Krishna, he is able to say, oh Sri Krishna, you are my beloved. Now I am saying it theoretically. I don't have the experience of Sri Krishna as my beloved. I have the experience of my mother, father, brother, sister, my friends as my beloveds. I don't have the experience of Sri Krishna as my beloved. So that is why theoretically, because I have accepted, I have taken shelter of a guru, I have heard from him and I have accepted this philosophy. Now I am saying whatever he is saying, right? And when I say that you are my beloved, all the meanings which I told you before, that I am the Atma, I am the Amsha of Sri Krishna, and as an Amsha of Sri Krishna is naturally my beloved, and this Prakriti, I am not this body. Because I am not this body, this Prakriti is not mine, and because this Prakriti is not mine, everybody who I love in this material world are also not mine. All that meanings I told you should come into our consciousness. And when we do this Artha Bhavana, and when we say Sri Krishna, you are my beloved, we are also saying that these are not mine, and only you are mine. So when we do this Artha Bhavana, these meanings gradually get converted into a feeling of love for Sri Krishna. Right? This is what I told you. And we will take the other lines from this kirtan and do the Artha Bhavana further to get deeper into the Rasopasana. O Kanha, ab lo nahi jana. O Kanha, ab lo nahi jana. O Kanha, lo nahi jana. O Kanha, lo nahi jana. Rahe o vimukh tav Kanha. Kanha, Kanha, Kanha. 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 Kanha, Kanha, Kanha. Kanha, Kanha, Kanha.
का